Let's go. We're back for another one. UWN. Underground World News Live. And we're back. What is going on? Let's get a mic check right at the gate. Make sure everything's smooth. Thank you, Pixie, Geo, Lone Warrior in the house. Bones, Deanne, E. Fitz. Good to see everybody. Meat Puppet, G, MC, Minx, E. Faze, Hoodie Ross. I want to thank everyone that shares the stream. Thank you, Kev Bar, Esper, Tacos. Much love, Tacos, Tooge, Sonny, all the crew, Fry Guy, Flip, Dre. It's good to see everybody. Hope you're doing well. Hope you had a good holidays, or holiday weekend, should I say, with the family. Susie Q, Joe, much love. Thank you for the well wishes. Wishing me happy Easter. I appreciate it. And for all the Ishtar people out there, Easter, Ishtar, yeah, I get it. I get all the stuff with all the holidays. If anyone knows, I know. I've covered it a million times. But I'm not going to let it override the meaning of the resurrection of the Most High. So, much love. Yeah, right back at you. I appreciate all that. Dabu7@yahoo.com. If you need anything to get to me, I appreciate anything you guys do send over. I try to get to everything the best I can. Gonna approach it a little different tonight. We're gonna dive into the Pope stuff before all the rest of the stuff. Thank you, Annie. Or before I get into the economics and all the rest of the stories. So, yes, much love to all you guys out there. Hope you're doing well. I know for some it's a busy weekend, whatnot, and just now getting back into things. So, one of the main things here. Well, let me start off here. We had another incident with the plane. This doesn't bode well for anyone out there that travels a lot by plane. This time a Delta plane had its engine burst into flames. This took place at the Orlando airport. They had to deploy these emergency slides and evacuate the people off of the flight. This was Delta Airlines Flight 1213. It was bound for Atlanta. I believe we got a video clip here. Yeah, play some of this video clip. Yeah, engine fire. And better that this happened on the ground than in the air. We've been seeing all types of crazy stuff. There is I don't have a link for it, but I saw on Twitter today a flight that came down. It must have went over the runway, like skidded off the end of the runway, went through this little wire and smacked into an oncoming car because there was a road right after the runway. And this was like a normal road where traffic was just going back and forth. It just blows my mind that they put these airports in some of these places where you have this. I mean, there's some pretty crazy airport runways out there where the fence is like right there, where they're landing, and like people are on beaches. You reach up and like touch the bottom of the plane, seems. But with this, I don't know, man. It just adds to the pile. It just keeps happening. All right, and we got a crazy situation here where this Texas Republican commissioner is fighting for her life after her grandson attacked her and her husband with a knife, killed her husband, and has left her in bad shape. So this is Bobby J. Mitchell now fighting for her life. And this took place in her own home. They're saying it was a senseless and tragic act that took the life of Fred Mitchell. It took place in the early hours of Monday morning in Lewisville, Texas. Police say the suspect, 23-year-old Mitchell Blake Reinacker, used a serrated kitchen knife to carry out the heinous assault. This piece of work right there. So look, from what I take of it, karma, very real thing. And, someone like this, he's going to be going to serve some time now. Somebody in the pen catches wind of, stuff like this. They think sometimes you just never know. They could look at you no better than some chummo or something like that. And just saying, I don't know what caused the conflict here, but, and God bless you, G. Thank you for the coffees and the support. Appreciate it to the fullest. Let's just hope that Bobby J. Mitchell there makes it. Again, karma going to catch this guy. And we have a Southern California mayor saying that he wants to eliminate homelessness by giving them all fentanyl. Basically, he's saying, let's just kill them. This is crazy. To come out with a statement like that, just openly, he wants to give them all what they want, is what he says, which is fentanyl. And that's not the case. That's not the truth. This guy's very disconnected with what's going on out there. There's a ton of homeless people in Southern California and across this country that have nothing to do with not only fentanyl, but any drugs. They're just homeless because of the conditions, because of the environment, losing jobs, getting wiped out by COVID, and all that. And the vets have been in bad shape. But not everybody's on drugs. I've shown this before. There's different encampments out there, not only across America, but now into Canada, where these people depend on each other, and they live out of vehicles. They only get by because they do help each other. And they survive through some crazy conditions up in Canada in some of these places throughout the winter. They got it pretty bad, pretty rough. But just saying, again, not all these people are on drugs. And this guy just comes out like, send them to the chambers, line them up, execute them. It's pretty much what he's saying here. Just go on in, give them the free fentanyl, give them overdose amount, and it's over. We'll clean the street up real quick, is how he sees it, just by killing them all. That's the mentality. No mentality of trying to help a brother, trying to even go through and see if there's a soul to save. Because just one would be worth it. Just kill them all. I mean, it's just nuts, man. Extermination of the people, the homeless. Again, we've got vets out there and people that are not even on drugs that are suffering. But this guy would rather you just take the fentanyl and be done. Yeah, this is Mayor R. Rex Paris, a Republican, came out and said this. I've never heard of this guy before, but make him famous tonight. Yeah. So this is what he calls a federal purge of the homeless population. Again, to just kill them all. There's no other way around it when you're calling for this. But he said this openly in a city council meeting. Not like it was on some James O'Keefe undercover stuff. No, he said this openly. And he was very serious about it. He goes on to say that he doesn't regret saying it. I don't know. You should value every life out there, man. If you can save a life, you should do it. Not just, this is kind of disgusting. Really disgusting. Just the way that he views human life. He says they have no respect for law and order, any of these people. He has no respect for human life. So again, you see this guy out in public. If you live in SoCal, I want to ask him about it. Be interesting. Take your camera and see how it turns out. And send it to me, dabu7@yahoo.com, if you get it. All right. Let's dive into pretty much one of the bigger stories, if not the biggest here tonight. I've got a few other big stories to touch on, but this one, the big one on the day. Pope Francis, deceased at 88 years old. And this is not too shocking. Kind of seen this coming. Here for the past few months, he was not in good shape. Every time they showed him, he just looked like he was in those stages. He was just barely hanging on. Well, the official cause of death is now out here. Pope Francis's death certificate released by the Vatican, stating that he passed away in his residence at 7:35 a.m. due to a cerebral stroke, followed by a coma and irreversible cardiocirculatory collapse, which was heart failure. The documents also note several underlying health conditions, but we know that he wasn't doing good. He had a recent episode of acute respiratory failure. It was caused by what they call bilateral multimicrobial pneumonia, multiple bronchitis, arterial hypertension, and type 2 diabetes. He suffered from all that. I didn't know he was diabetic. But again, not shocking. So, he has gone, and I put out a video about a month ago called Prophecy of the Popes. Not the one I put out today, but about a month or so ago. And it's when he had his first episode. And I talked about in that some critical details. The main writings that talk about the prophecy of the popes seems to have caused some confusion. And it seems to have caught this through what is a misinterpretation of what it all says. It's one thing having to go from one language to another and to translate everything, but then it's another to just mess up or overlook something. And that's exactly what it looks like has happened with this whole prophecy that you can find in the prophecy of Malachi. And I even had somebody ask me today, like, I'm confused. Prophecy of Malachi says that he's the last. I'm like, no, it's not. It's the people that were basically trying to translate it that got it wrong. And since no one else bothered to do it and to fix or correct it or even see what was going on, they just took it and went with it. The whole talk of him being the final pope has been spread, which we've never said here on this channel. There is inside of the basilica, so that you know, and thank you, John, for the coffees, and God bless you. Inside the basilica, there is on the wall circles that go all the way around the room. And in them are all the popes, every single pope that there's ever been, all the way up to Francis, and there is one more. Now, again, people missed this before that we're just assuming as the OBS disconnects and connects back. I'm just telling you the situation at hand and what's really going on here. You can sit there and say, oh, make up whatever name and excuse for this last spot because you tried to say that he was the last pope, but there's going to be another pope here. The final one. And it's just, this is how it is. And thank you for the feedback. I was waiting to see if it was good. All right. So, Peter the Roman. And let me finish by clarifying where this mistake is. Okay? There's paragraphs in the prophecy that describe all the way up to the olive, to Pope Benedict. And then there is a passage that was just, for some reason, whatever reason, it was attributed and put into the Peter the Roman paragraph. It's a problem because it didn't belong there. It was short. It was only like a sentence long. But when you look at it, it clearly states and signifies that there will be another between the olive Benedict and Peter the Roman. And that is Francis. And then you come to the paragraph of Peter the Roman. And then you come to this final circle. And don't worry, I have a list of candidates we're going to look into right now. And we're going to see what all's going on. So cutting out. I'm waiting to make sure that I've got 5x5s because people are saying that I cut out. I get one person saying I'm breaking up and then another saying that 5x5. So I'm just going to wait till I get a good amount of 5x5s here. Deanne, Pixie, JD says no lag for me. G says 5x5s. E fits 5x5s. All right, everybody. Okay. So when I've got a majority of the people give me 5x5s, I'm going to run with it. Please just tell anyone else that's complaining to refresh. That's all I can say. So, again, Pope Francis has passed away. And before I dive into the possible next candidates, who's going to be the next pope, and thank you for all the feedback. Look at that. I got a whole thing of 5x5s, and there's two that said boldly, cutting out, cutting out. Again, I'm putting that in your hands, mods, everybody else. And if you, I've said this before, trolls will come in and try to sway and just mess with the stream if they see that there's an issue, and they'll eat at it. And even if the audio is back, they'll sit there and they'll keep saying it's messed up, it's messed up, it's messed up. So you got to be aware of that tactic. Mods, just hammer away if you suspect it. And thank you for all the feedback, everybody. Boomer, Frank, Academy. So, Archbishop Carlo Maria Vigano, he puts out and publishes this scathing response to the news of Pope Francis's death. Yeah, now he was a critic of Francis during his reign, and rightfully so, because of all the stuff he did. And everyone's got their opinion at this point. But Vigano stood up against the destruction of the church, all the mandates that were issued throughout COVID. They crushed individual rights worldwide. The elections. He called out the Pope for his destructive actions against the church and others that support the World Economic Forum. So, within, there are a few white knights, so to speak, that step up to go against the evils at the top. But he apparently was overridden all the time. But he says he's going to air out all the things that were done by Francis. All the evil things, bad things, things that they tried to keep quiet, swept under the rug. None of that's going to happen here. Anything that he knows of, he's not holding back. He's airing it out. And even though they can't go after a dead man on criminal charges, he's going to let the world know what's been going on. So, we are on the doorstep of entering what I would say is the Great Tribulation. If we haven't already entered that window, like, we've crossed the Rubicon. A lot of things going down. And it's pretty clear who some of the key players out here are. If you're paying attention. I mean, one of the most control freak groups on the planet came out and labeled Donald Trump their Gentile Messiah. Which should tell you a lot right there. Gave him a silver crown, called him the Prince of Peace, and all this other stuff. Like, come on. Like, but he's the Gentile Messiah, not their Messiah, you see. And their Messiah is not Jesus, so that you know. And they make this known clearly and openly. And all types of other madness that their holy books call for. That actually calls for violence, for killing us. Like, what? Like, yeah. And they want to say that we're the hateful ones and we're all this. Like, yeah. Well, when it comes to the ranks of the Pope, the white Pope is just a front. And he is Masonically controlled. It's well known that Francis was a Jesuit. I always refer to him as Jesuit Pope Francis. Which means that he comes out of the order of the Jesuits and Jesuit command, which controls a ton of the stuff that happens on this planet. And many don't even put the light on it that it deserves. Look throughout the ranks of all the governments and look at all the Jesuits, all the way up to Hegseth, all of them. All of them. They're all over the place. If they're not controlled by the guys in the black hats, then this is the case. They're Jesuit controlled, and it all ties back to the top. Do you understand? Everybody wanting to figure out who's the bad guys, who's the ones at the top controlling all this? Well, it goes beyond the Pope. The Pope controls that Vatican, in which I call the synagogue of Satan. And you know, that's what I see it as. Not a representation of righteousness. Okay? It's been hijacked, so to speak. The Pope is supposed to be representing the vicar of Jesus here in this plane, but through their actions, I do not believe that these men represent that at all. Now, above the Jesuit Pope, the white Pope, the Pope that you all know, and that the world always falls in love with and adores for whatever reason, because they've been fooled, is the Black Pope. That's right. There's somebody above the Pope, and it's real. It's not a conspiracy. It's real. Get over there and start typing. It's your homework then. Look up the Black Pope, and then get your mind blown if you don't know this. I remember back when Peter Hans Kolvenbach was the main top Black Pope. There was a lot of stuff going on at the time, and I put it in music videos and all this other stuff because we were going hard. So all I needed to do these live streams, put out the videos, and incorporate it in the music to try to get the truth out there on what's going on. So this is Jesuit command. Whenever you hear me say it's all done on Jesuit command, this is what it means. Right to the satanic top. Okay? Because that's what it is. And they are worshiping those entities right on the other side of this veil of the ether. The fallen, the jinn as I call them. They are the ones that give them their power. If you look at the story of the Knights Templar off your History Channel or anything like that, you will get a hint at where this goes. This is how they got their power. The Knights Templar were connecting with the other side. They were casting circles. They specifically connected with Azazel. And this is cheating. You weren't supposed to do this. Of course, a lot of things weren't supposed to happen. The Watchers, those that came down here, were not supposed to sleep with our women, but they did. Okay? And all hell has broke loose ever since then. And if you don't know who these jinn are, these spirits on the other side tempting you, they are the Nephilim. They are the giants that got wiped out. They are the souls of them. This is what is written and what they plucked out of your Bible so you didn't know it. Okay, but you can obtain this information through the Book of Jubilees, the Book of Giants, and things like the Book of Enoch that they keep hidden from you. These are the missing puzzle pieces that once you plug them in, the whole thing is clear. You see? That's who they worship. That's what this whole thing is structured around. And there's a legion. You wonder why Elon keeps saying that. On the other side, okay, there's a hierarchy from the top, from Lucifer, the top, all the way down. Okay? Satan Nacha, the general at number 5. There's a whole ranking of it. And this is what they mimic here in this realm. Do you understand? You better quick. If you want to really figure this thing out before you die, you better figure this out. You better quit turning a cheek and run from it. Because once you do, you break the spells. You start to awaken fully. Then you can overcome these witches, wizards, warlocks that are doing nothing more than casting black magic spells on people that don't understand it. They've kept this hidden from you, this knowledge, and they work it every day on you. Every day, all the time. Where it's at the highest levels ever seen in history at this point. Through using technology and everything at their advantage and for lack of knowledge. Now, I give it to you. What you do with it is up to you. It's on you. You know what these people are, what they are about. All the sacrifice that goes on in this realm is to these jinn, is to the fallen. Okay, they're here. They've always been here. All right? Don't be waiting for little green men to come from the Pleiades or whatever. No, they've been here the whole time. They never kept it a secret from you. That is who they worship. Okay? It's pretty simple at this point. Full circle. Okay? That's what's going on. I'm waiting for the good guys to come and level the playing field. Which they exist. You know this, right? You see the level of evil that I'm showing you here, and you know it's real. You see it every day. The mass murder and killing on this planet, blowing babies' heads off every day, all the time, in this evil place. You know the evil's real, right? Right? Or do you need more of it? Well, there's an opposite to that. That's a scientific fact for those that aren't religious. It's a scientific fact. Okay? So what do you want to obscure that? Turn your cheek to that too? There's a good force, good guys. And I fight for them, so you know. Right here in the flesh. There's more than just me here. Some of you out there listening, much love. It's that time. For those of you that need activated, awaken. Now is time. It's on you to make a move. To me, inaction will not be forgiven. When you've been given knowledge and you sit there and you do nothing with it, that is on you and it doesn't bode well for you. Some are gonna wish they just stayed asleep, and that's on them. You'll never make it out of here. You'll never make it out of here like that. You have to awaken and see it for what it is. And you have to be righteous. Not dwelling in this evil. This is a very sick place. When you look at some of the holiest places, like what you want to call the church, and it's full of pedos. This is a dark, sick, and twisted place. Okay? And I want someone to come and level the playing field. He comes like a thief in the night, man. And he comes with a sword. And I will not be scared at all. I'm ready to drop this body. This body is a vessel. You should never forget that. It's just a vessel, like being in a car. Your energy, your pure energy, you go on after this body. Energy never dies. Another scientific fact. Huh? You're going to ignore that one too? Huh? You're going to ignore the fact that you're eternal? That's about as stupid as it gets. Huh? Because if you don't want your soul energy, someone will take it. And they'll take it and they'll regurgitate it and they'll do whatever with it. That's you. That's you. It's your soul essence. For people that don't want to fight for that or care about that, I don't even know what to say. Just get out of here and don't come back. Never want to see you again. For those of you that want to ascend, now's the time. Put in the work. Be righteous. The guy doesn't seem to know that. Thinks it's a joke out there in the chat. It's people like that have such a small, puny little brain. They can't absorb this. They see what they've done? They're trying to make fun of something because they either, I don't know how they don't understand it. I break it down where a 2-year-old can understand it. But they reject it. They reject the truth. That's on you. You want to reject the truth? That's on you. You can take that all the way on you. You're never going to figure this out. You're never going to get out of here. And I can see it's just you being, it's whatever. It's whatever. It's your choice. It's your choice. You can stay wallowing in your own crap. You'll never get the keys and get out of here. At some point, you have to mature and quit treating this whole thing like high school, like a ton of people do over on Twitter every single day and with the politics. You have to understand where this is, and if you care, where you're going from here. Because life doesn't last long. Right? As the Pope has shown us, he just made it 88 years. Man, you see right here. This is Cardinal Peter Parolin, Petro of Rome. Literally. He is the highest ranking individual outside of the Pope inside of the Vatican. Did you know that? let's look at the list of who could be the next pope. And I'm going to tell you that there's like a long list of cardinals in the United States that are potential. They're going to say, I seen a link earlier, but like none of them come close. All right. You have to be of high rank. You have to be proven. And in the upper echelon of the circle, okay, for the top dogs to select you. Thank you, Devin. This man that I'm showing you here is of that high ranking. I believe he's next. His name is literally Peter the Roman. But let me show you the other picks here. And you heard it here first. Because I ain't seen not nowhere anything besides this article showing all these face banner. I heard no one declare. Yeah, the red shoes. The red shoe leader, they lost their leader tonight, but a new one is going to step in. That's how this whole process works. Yeah, that's crazy with the whole red shoe thing because it's very real. Get more homework for you right down for you tonight if you want to figure this thing out. All right, so let's go with the top globalist left-wing pick. Someone say, oh, well, then that's going to be the person. Well, not necessarily. This is Carlos Antonio Teco from the Philippines. And he is the premier pick out of Asia. He's what they call the Asian Francis. He is the progressive frontrunner. He advocates for softening the church on same-sex unions and divorce, and all this other stuff. So that's him. Next is Cardinal Peter Parolin of Italy. And it's key that someone could speak Italian, that's the Pope, because that's just the role that it is. And some of these guys can't do that, and I would roll them out specifically for that. Oh, I'm electronic, huh? Oh, wow. What's going on, man? Buffering constantly, huh? Makes no sense. Everything's good on my end. Not 5x5 anymore, yeah. Well, I don't know what to say. Weather's clear here. Shows I got like 7. It's always people start complaining when more people pile in, it seems. Good now. 5x5 sounds better. Couple bufferings. 5x5. It's okay now. Randy in the house. Much love. Cleared up now. 5x5 sounds good. Okay. Think it's okay now. Good now. What the heck? Of course, the biggest problems I have out of 20 streams comes when I'm hitting on the hardest stuff. Literally. When I'm discussing the keys to it all, or who's controlling this whole thing and how it's going down, that's when it wants to buffer out, right? Still breaking up. Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah. All right, going with the 5x5s from the mods. Anyhow, this man that you see right here, his name is Peter the Roman. Okay? That's the biggest thing here. His name is literally that. You don't have to trade. You don't have to make nothing up or try to attach something like people were doing with Francis and all this other crap to try to stick to him. No, it's clear. Pietro Parolin of Rome, Italy. He's Peter the Roman. By name, period. He is. I'm telling you, If you were to ask me, well, I'd say, well, hey, there's a guy that's literally in the lineup, then he is Peter the Roman. You know this, right? Like, yeah, that's him. You're looking at him right there. You understand? Yeah, we're over the target. This is it. This is it. So, here's the next. Cardinal Jean-Marc Aveline. He's of France, but what's his downfall? He doesn't speak Italian. And they don't think anyone that doesn't speak Italian is going to get it. Cardinal Mario Grech of Malta. He's an aggressive reformer. He's called on the church to move beyond nostalgia and embrace LGBTQ acceptance and all that stuff. Cardinal Juan Jose Omella of Spain. Cardinal Joseph Tobin of the United States. This guy right here. He's an American liberal icon, embracing LGBT. Why does it all have to do with that? Why does it always have to do with that? Huh? Why can't the words be embracing Jesus or something like that? I mean, it's supposed to be the holy man, but it's the first thing that they say every time. It's ridiculous, and you wonder why it's full of pedos. Matteo Zuppa of Italy. He's the first one that I saw of Italy, and I was like, maybe. But when I saw Peter the Roman in the lineup, just by name, they call him the Italian Bergoglio. He downplayed the church sex abuse scandals. Of course he did. Of course they all did. Cardinal Wim Eich of the Netherlands. Conservative and traditionalist. He's a rare European defender of orthodoxy. He challenged Francis over civil unions, opposed diluting the Catholic teachings to appease Protestants or secular sensitivities, and he was a strong voice for restoring the Catholic clarity in a morally confused age. Then you have Cardinal Fridolin Mbongo of the Congo. He rejected Francis' endorsement of blessings for same-sex couples. You have Cardinal, here's another one, but he's not of Rome. His name's Peter. Peter Erdo. Cardinal Peter Erdo of Hungary. And if there was one, again, that carries the name in the lineup, this guy is a contender. His name is Peter, and he is also bilingual. He can speak multiple languages, including Italian, which is key. So he is another contender for the Pope. Peter Erdo. Right there. I mean, when you've got guys in the lineup that carry the name Peter, and you've got a couple of them, I'm going to say that one of them gets it. And Cam, thank you for the coffees. I appreciate it to the fullest. Thank you for supporting the channel. Appreciate it more than you know. So, another American is Cardinal Raymond Burke of the U.S. I don't think he has a shot. And then you've got another Peter. One more. So there's 3 Peters. Cardinal Peter Turkson of Ghana. And I'm going to say one of those 3 men from Ghana, Hungary, or just flat out Peter from Rome. I mean, there's one in the lineup that carries the name specifically. And guess who he is? He is the most powerful man alive in the Vatican at this point. He's sat right behind Pope Francis in power inside the Vatican. Okay? This is my pick. I mean, just simply because he is Peter the Roman. It's his freaking name. He is the highest powerful dude sitting there. You think he's going to pass on the op? I don't. I think this is it. I think the whole process is going to go down, even if it's not. Wow, right? This guy is Peter the Roman, literally. He's Italian. This is the man. His name means it. You can't make it up. It's all right there. And if it's not him, guess what? There's a couple more Peters in the lineup. And I think one of the Peters gets it. All right? It is wild, Hoodie. But this is it. This is the last one. This individual fills the last circle on the Basilica wall. The video that I put out today on this channel, okay, the very last video, go look at it. The image shows Pope Francis in a circle, and there's a blank circle next to it. Ever since I brought this up a while back, the people trying to say Francis was Peter the Roman, they didn't have a leg to stand on. And right now, with all this going on, I don't even know what to say. I'm not going to say, like, try to rub it in your face like you were wrong, but, I mean, you were wrong. Simply. Like, Francis was not the last pope. That's what the whole thing was about. And there was a spot on the wall that obviously showed it. Now, however you want to interpret that and twist it in any other way and concoct it is all on you. But point blank and simple, there's a spot left for this final person, and you've got Peter the Roman sitting on your screen right now, the most powerful dude in the church, of which I'm going to tell you an hour ago, nobody even freaking knew. Because nobody pays attention and nobody cares. But you find out here tonight who the top dogs are. And this guy don't look like he's in terrible shape. He could last a while. And whoever it's going to be, it's going to guide the people through this tribulation. So, whatever the little man's going to be, it's kind of like, all right, he's here. Like, whichever one, it really doesn't matter at this point. It's the fact that he is here. Right? Whoever fills the shoes, it's about to happen. Like, it's happening right now. Francis is dead. Okay? And if you don't know, the whole thing with Francis here is they're going to put him in the coffin and let everybody view his body on Wednesday. So there's going to be this big deal on Wednesday going on about this, with a lot of people coming out to see the body and pay respects and do all that stuff. In the meantime, the Vatican will be holding this process, the ceremony, on where they basically have an inner vote for who's going to be the next pope, the last and final. I'm telling you, you're looking at Peter the Roman on your screen. His name is Peter the Roman. So if he doesn't get it, if this guy does not get it, and he's not the one, I want you to know that Peter the Roman's there. He's there. He by name, this is the guy. By name. Like pinpoint on the nose, pin the tail on the donkey. No one stepped up in this window with the exact name until this dude. He could have been from anywhere. Could have been from Ireland. Could have been from the UK. But no, he had to be from Rome. Right? He had to be the most powerful dude in the Vatican currently. Right? So, get to know the Jesuits. Get to know the game. All right? And get to know the whole ranking, because it's very real. All the rest is smoke and mirrors. And we'll wait and we'll see. But it's kind of hard not to put your money on a guy that's carrying the name of Peter the Roman, on who Peter the Roman's going to be. How can I pick any other guy on the list? Even if I did think another person had anything else. I mean, the whole thing is centered around this name, and this guy has the name. So I can't go against that at this point. If he doesn't get it, he doesn't get it. We'll look at whoever gets it. One thing's for sure though, he's here, and he's in power of the Catholic Church. This man right now, Peter the Roman, he sure is. So don't you ever forget that, right? If he does not take there's only one promotion. There's only one step higher from his position. There's only one. You think he's going to pass on it? I don't. You think he's going to pass on voting himself into that spot? Maybe for some crazy reason he does. But he's here. Peter the Roman is right in front of your face. You heard it here tonight. You seen it here tonight. You laid your eyes on the man. I just showed you the list, the prime list. So either way, you laid your eyes on the next man here tonight. Underground World News Live. So, some people are going to roll in here and be like, oh, that's not what Scripture says. Like 556, I don't get what you're saying. What Scripture says what? Again, I'm going to take you back to Malachi, which I explained earlier. The Malachi prophecies. People misinterpreted it. Okay? If you want to pick up something that was never double-checked or verified, then you, over the years, are going to regurgitate something that was wrong. Anyone will, until you get new information. Okay? And what they've come to find out is that there was basically a hidden sentence. It wasn't hidden. It was right there the whole time. It was thrown in to Peter the Roman's paragraph, and it shouldn't have been. It shows that there was another pope between the Olive and Peter the Roman, which was Francis. Okay? And they've made it pretty clear. They've shown the proof. When you read it and you look at it and you look at the whole thing, it looks pretty dang obvious that that's the case. And here we are. But people miss that. And because people are not up to speed on that and they show up in the chat with that lack of knowledge, I'm wrong. No, you're wrong at this point. Because you have not got the updated information. And obviously, there's a freaking empty circle on the wall for our next person. And I'm wrong, right? They're not about to elect another pope, right? I'm wrong, right? It's not about to happen, right? Like, what fantasy do you live in? Some people are just pissed off because everything that they were spitting is wrong, is what it is. It's because they never do any thorough research. That's why. Right there. But, hey, we all make mistakes, right? Why get so butthurt and bent out of shape about it? It is what it is. Whoever this person is going to be, whatever, right? They're here. And I think the more ominous thing is that it signifies the time we're in. That's the more important thing. That person signifies a person that's going to lead the masses through tribulation, which means it's about to pop off big time. And we kind of already knew that. So this is kind of right on cue, right? I think so. So this is happening, okay? It's happening. It's real life, real time, right now. Pope's dead. Another one is getting chosen, okay? And that's just the facts. So we're going to push on with the facts like we normally do. Anyone else that wants to stay in the past with lies and confusion and just can't get over it, that's on you. See ya. We're moving on. But don't you forget again, tonight, you saw the face of the next one. Yeah. We'll know more on Wednesday's stream. Wednesday's stream should be an interesting one as well. And, oh, that's fine. I get it. That's fine. 556. There's no hate toward 556 if he's talking to somebody else. It just made me think of what I said. So, not directed at you, 556. Much love. Crown Jewels. Much love. Good to see you. Apocalyptic linguist. Oh my gosh, man. I was jamming some stuff earlier, man. We gotta get back on it. If you don't know, Crown Jewels is who makes music with me. We make truth music, as I put it. And Hoodie Ross. We gotta get back on it now. We're in those times. I'm gonna push on here now that we're coming up on top of the hour. So we have touched on the whole Pope thing. I will update more on the next live stream for sure. One thing's for sure, Jesus is King. Yeshua, the King, the Most High, Comes like a thief in the night. All right, jump on here to some other news, because I got some important things to touch on, because all this is connected, right? We'll start here with the stocks today. If you didn't notice, they got hit again. Over $1 trillion, like 1.5 trillion wiped out again. I told you. I don't like saying that. I hate saying I told you. It sounds so, but I did. I mean, I told you. I warned you. This is the game plan. They're going to take rounds of this, so people don't get too spooked. They're gonna hit your 401ks and all your stuff with rounds. Now, with that said, I've told you for a long time, you might want to get your 401k out, cash it out, make your moves, which people have. But I get, and I had a conversation with an individual over the weekend about the 401k and how they utilize it and how they draw off of it in retirement. And if they didn't have it, they would be kind of like done for. But if you draw the whole thing out, you would just have the whole chunk. Instead of the way I see it is you're just drawing it out to survive off of monthly to get by on. But you could still, in my eyes, you should be able to take the whole chunk out and still use it to get by monthly. Not keep it in the hands of someone else. You see, I see where this is going. And if someone keeps sitting there and is drawing off of it, and they keep hitting it like they're doing for 10, 15%, a few months down the road, man, there's not going to be much left at that rate. The big dogs are selling because they own the stocks. It's what they've waited this whole time to do, and they're selling. And when they do this, that leaves the little man holding the bag. In the end, that's what's about to happen. Large scale. It's gonna cripple this country. And we're gonna need each other. We're gonna need each other to get through it. It's part of this reset that we know is happening. Trump's even admitted that he's here to do it. Some things come out of their mouths that weren't part of the script, that just kind of set it off. But this is like boiling the frog. Really, it is. You've heard the saying before, but it really is. Instead of hitting everybody with you wake up Monday morning and the stock markets went to zero, you lost everything. It's not how it works. It's not how it's going to work. That's not it. Okay, it's not it. It's the slow cook that gets them. You see, and it's working. It's working. Because as soon as someone starts to panic about, the market just, oh my gosh, my 401k just lost 25% today. 25%. And they're like, but it rebounded 10, 15%. And they're like, you know what? I'm all right with that then. I'll take the 10. I can deal with the 10%. And they accept it. They take a 10% loss. They accept it. Happens again, like it did today. Same thing goes down. You can hammer it again. 20% loss, hearts pounding. Climbs back 10%. Well, they say it again. Oh, well, it's just 10%. But it keeps eating away at your 401k. And you're losing big. And this is how it happens. So this is how it happens with anything that you hold. Some of you are not stock traders. Do you understand this? Some of you do not trade crypto stocks. You don't know how they do. They're dirty. Do you understand? I'm telling you. I'm trying to warn you. All right? They're about to do everybody this way. You see it happen every day in the markets. They leave people holding the bag. I don't want to see my people get this done to them, but I'm telling you, I can only warn so much, man. Again, my thinking though there is, what is there to draw off of if it's an empty bag? Huh? That's why I say get in out now, get what you need now, and get ready for the long haul. I get it. A lot of people out there put in to this government. You put into Medicare, Medicaid. You paid into Social Security. You paid at the wazoo throughout your life, and you should get the benefit of that back in the end. But it's through the government. Oh boy, it's all through the government. It's all money that has to come to the government, and they've got everybody by the kahunas. Or they got all the vets by the kahunas that want to get that check in their retirement or as they're sitting at home every month because they're injured or wounded or whatever. It's that money, the money to pay the bills. They got everybody by the kahunas at that point. You can't let yourself get into that trap. It's the big thing. And so many people have they not? They are dependent on this beast. And that's something I don't ever want to be. I don't want to depend on a Social Security. I don't want to depend on a government check. You might want to think about that if that was your end-game plan. When they pull the rug on everybody. Okay? They got everybody right where they want them. Got the whole herd with all their savings and 401ks tied into the market. They got them right where they want them. They're about to smoke it. They're about to smoke it up. Yep. So today, stock futures, the dollar, treasuries all tumble because one dude opens his mouth and says something, right? Gold continues its slow burn. All my gold bugs, silver bugs, precious metal cats. Much love. It's so sweet to see this, and it's going to continue this burn. It's going to continue this burn all the way to 20K and beyond. We've always known it for everyone that invested. You're reaping the rewards now, and you will continue to. My only caveat to all this, and I've said it a million times, is if the government comes for the gold. And they want to take it from you. To save the economy. To save the whole thing. Be a good patriot and give up your gold. We'll let you keep your wedding rings, but give us the rest. I'm telling you. Look where this is going. Well, I'll get to it here in just a second. You'll see where this is going. The comments that Trump made, we're going to focus on them here in a second. Something's going on. Again, the gold, all-time highs, Bitcoin spiking. It's going to end up running back up. It's going to turn super bullish. With whenever the dollar starts to dump out bad like this, and people are trying to jump into different areas outside the dollar, they're trying to hedge their bet, so to speak. Bitcoin's a major option. It's done proven at this point. Even though, whatever speculation's on it, you can't beat gold, as we always say. It's the top dog. It's going to keep on burning, baby. Like a well-rolled Cuban cigar. It's just going to burn all night long. And it's going to keep burning uphill. I think gold is going to have some explosions coming up. $5,000 is a mental thing. When gold crosses $5,000, it's like a mental trigger. Silver has got to break the 33, 35 stable that it's in. It's like this keeps hitting. It's wanting to bust out. Has been wanting to bust out. When it does, it's gonna hit its $100 and it's gonna sail. It's gonna run like crazy when all this happens, man. This move's only gonna happen once. Are you hearing me? This is only gonna happen one time, and it's already begun. Thank God. Some of you listened out there back in 2017. I mean, I was saying it before that, but I'm on record at least back to 2017, calling for people, make your moves in gold and silver. This is where it's at. I've shown you throughout the years. I'm just glad that it's become a come up. But it ain't over. I feel like it's just getting started. The party's just getting started. Everyone's eating the gold up. I'm going to come back around to that. China, though. China is like the big bad boogeyman on the world stage from here. Any talk of real World War III, economic warfare, and if anybody's going to come out the shadows in this country and do anything like take out a power grid, it's going to be the million damn Chinese that are here hiding. Oh, yeah, if there's anybody that owns large chunks of land right next to our military bases, it's the Chinese. It's not the Russians. It's not the Icelanders. It's not the Mexicans. It's the Chinese. Okay? This is a fact, Jack. You better get to know it. If there's anybody that's going to come out the shadows and start slicing throats and don't believe in Jesus, let me tell you, the dragon has its minions in here right now. And your Trump administration doesn't seem to care at all. I'm telling you, this is a setup. This feels like right before 9/11. That's what this feels like. It's about to go down. All right, so China and their workers in shock and fearing that this whole war is going to affect them, so the everyday people on the street in China are freaking out because they see that the government is really ramping this up. They see Trump is really ramping this up, and they're feeling the effects, and they see it with clarity. They know that tariffs are not good, and it's not good for the consumer because that's who's paying for it. It seems the people here have been just dumbed down and hit with black magic where they don't understand what a tariff is and that they're the ones paying for it until it's too late. But that's the case. I don't know. All I can call this black magic, a spell has been put on these people because it's like beyond stupidity at this point. Is what the conclusion I've come to. So China, the CCP, is never going to accept a loss, so that you know. When it comes to this trade war, they're just not going to do it. It's going to go tit for tat. It's supposed to do this. It's supposed to accelerate until they make a move on Taiwan. You need to know, if you haven't been keeping up with this, they plan to take Taiwan by 2027. Time is flying. If you haven't noticed, it is just flying by. We are almost halfway through 2025 already, and time is cooking. And these guys are going to move on Taiwan before then. I'm telling you, they have surrounded them multiple times just in the past year. Just in the past couple of weeks, they did it again. One of these times, what looks to be just another drill is going to be them going live. Remember me telling you it. Right? It's how it works. Right? When the drills go live, catch them by surprise is what they're going to try to do. It's going to change everything. It's going to change everything when they make this move. It's going to be a bold move. But the CCP sees that it's a unification move. If you don't know the history of China and what happened decades ago, a faction fought against the CCP and against their ideology. And they lost, and they had to retreat, and they left the mainland, and they retreated back to Taiwan. And that's where they have existed ever since. So the CCP has looked at them with a grudge, like, we're going to reunify, we're going to take you back, ever since then. So yeah, Taiwan is like done. It's like in the cards, they're cooked. They're like smoked chicken, they're done. Just, they're about ready to come out the oven. Like, it's done. Like, Taiwan, you can't wrestle that from China without, like, nukes flying and, like, you paying a heavy, heavy price. These guys will send Chinese troops across that water. Endless waves of Chinese because they can. Because it's the one weapon they have at their disposal. It's nuts when it comes to the Chinese, man. It sucks because the CCP, we use them as cannon fodder. Just like they do the people in Ukraine. They don't care. They blow them apart every day. They don't care. These governments don't care. All they want to do is just mass kill. That's all it's about, mass kill. And if Ukraine's coming to a close, they need another war front. And let me tell you, man, that the South China Sea, World War III, something you don't want to see. Japan, man. Japan's about to be put in a hard spot. I'm telling you, and they already are. When this thing pops off, South Korea, Japan, they're going to be like, they're going to be open to getting hit hard, man. I'm telling you, somebody's going to catch a licking. Nukes are going to fly, like big weapons are going to fly at some point. It's just meant to be. It's just meant to be. Like big war is going to pop. World War III is going to pop. All this stuff's going to go down. It's just meant to be. You know, it's just like being right before World War II and like knowing it's about to pop off and it's going to go down. Like it's meant to be. Unfortunately, you're going to have to make it through it. This in turn will definitely drag this country into a depression. You won't be able to get things. Jobs going to be wiped out. Economy's going to be flattened. It will be depression. Where China completely cuts off things, clamps down on Taiwan, and all this stuff. Shipping lanes will be war zones. They already are. Houthis have already shown that. And they've just desensitized people to it. That's what they've done. They desensitized people to it. Just in the past year. It wasn't happening before then. Like they ramped it up. It's crazy. All right. I'm not even into the war stuff yet, but it's all interconnected, huh? Let's look at our cattle here. We're pretty screwed. They've attacked it. They've burned them up. They've decimated them. Just like our chicken supply, the egg supply, the cattle supply has been decimated. This means the price of ground beef, steaks, all that goes through the roof. And if you mix in on top of this bird flu epidemic or lockdowns and all that, you can expect all this to go bananas. In a time where it's already sky high, again, all I can see is depression, food lines, all that stuff. Either that or eat some of GMO. Right? They'll have plenty of that to serve you. Bill Gates be with his hat on at the food banks, just scooping it up, serving you. Pathetic. Sick of this crap, man. We've been set up so bad. People got to get up and make a stand, man. You know, we live for the truth. And when you can't no longer live for the truth, then what's the sense in living? You don't live just to live. You live for the truth. And if you can't live no longer for the truth, then I die for the truth. In the meantime, Americans searching USA products like never before. It seems people are maybe starting to get the hint. Maybe even the Trumpers that don't want to admit it or say anything. A shout out to those that keep their integrity, they keep it honest, that are willing to admit they voted for Trump, but they're getting hammered. Like the farmer I told you, the egg producer, the beekeeper, all the people that have already been wiped out, hammered from all this tariff stuff already. And it's just begun. So people are starting to look up American products. Is that going to be cheaper? Can I find it? Can I find what I need here in America? Well, depending on what you need, I don't know what the answer to that's going to be. I mean, everything's going up. I feel for everyone out there. Everyone, everywhere. Let me tell you something. Those that think that getting a bunch of chickens and all that's going to be, cheaper and save you on eggs, you better think again, man. Some people out there live a fantasy. You just think some things. You ever had chickens? You ever tried it? You ever paid for them? You ever paid for all the feed that it takes to keep them going? It's more than a dozen eggs are. Did you know that? So you know that it's more expensive to have the chickens in the long run if you do it the right way? Or you can just let them run around and do whatever and this and that, but they're not going to be super healthy. They're not going to be the super healthy eggs and everything. There's a right and a wrong way to do everything. But I'm telling you, just the cost of it, people are going to find out the hard way. I told you on one of the last streams, the lady that went off-grid homesteading for a decade because they believed everything was going to be cheaper in the long run. And it wasn't. It's nothing but constant work. Okay? And it is. It is. But here's the thing. It's a drag when life is normal and you got to live that way. But let me tell you something. When all hell breaks loose and lockdowns go back into play over bird flu or whatever next, you're going to be thinking to sweet stars in heaven that you got something like that. It may be work every day, but you can survive. You've got the chickens, you've got the farm. Living that way is not easy. As my dad said, it will make an old man of you quick. I know. I live on a mountain. I've done all these things. Okay? I'm telling you. Okay, so don't lose sight of what's to come here. I feel like the pendulum swung all the way back to where people get so comfortable they forgot about lockdowns, and it started swinging back the other way. And before you know it, you can't stop the pendulum. These events are designed, they're on the schedule, they're coming down the pike. It's going to happen again. This is the way that it works. As above, so below. You need to be paying attention to that specifically, because they do. They set all their emotions, just like 9/11 and all the rest of them, into retrogrades and things like that. If you're missing that, you're missing a major piece of the puzzle on how your enemy operates. The rich continue to keep on getting richer as far as I could tell. Here's a visual breakdown. If there's righteous rich out there, this is okay. But, and a much love to all the righteous ones out there that help others. You know who you are. But for all the ones out there that have it and do nothing, don't fight the fight, don't help anyone, don't do anything, well, but contribute to the madness. You know, like Soros out there paying protesters, our own people, to cause chaos. And things like that. In this American consumer economy, I want to point out a few things. We consume 19 trillion. That's a lot. You want to be making things. You can't be a country that just depends on everyone else, that consumes. It's just nothing but a consumer, and you don't produce nothing. You want to be like 50-50, so that way, like, you're putting out what you're bringing in. You know, that'd be ideal. But when you get into a hole, you get into what's called a trade deficit, and you get into a deficit with different countries. Here, it costs us, on average, every year, in terms of services, $12.7 trillion. Housing and utilities are the biggest. This is the biggest. Everyone's house note, the house payment, whether it's mortgage or rent, and the utilities. Keep the lights on. Internet, all those things. That's the biggest chunk. Everyone's paying. Only thing I need to do is to break away from that. Get away from that. Like, try to build. And as you go, it's done. It's paid for, right? And go off grid in terms of power. That is one thing that I will say has been huge. Being able to eliminate an electric bill of hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars, depending on who you are and where you're at and what time of year, is big. To be able to get a package, a solar package, an off-grid package, and remove that, you definitely start to see that right out the gate. It's a huge plus. That would put a dent in this whole thing right here in terms of housing and utilities. Healthcare is another big one here when it comes to America, which our healthcare system sucks. Over here on Bitcoin.com, you can see the headline state over 1,300 economists, that's a lot, are condemning Trump over his tariffs and that it's backfiring. I'm telling you, people all over the place are getting pissed. What are you going to do about it? What's anybody going to do about it? You're stuck with it for the next 4 years. Hopefully more and more people are honest about it and start to wake up and, hold Trump accountable. When Trump does something good, we give him props. When he does something bad, we call him out. That's just being honest about it. And that's how you got to be, or you're just not honest. You're lying to yourself. So look at this. We all want to know if there's gold in Fort Knox, right? At least I do. A lot of the people that I know do. They want to know the truth. They want to know, is it in there? How screwed are we really? What are they about to do? What do you mean magnificent gaming? You said Pietro Parolin is his name at Dabu. Who's? Peter the Romans? That we covered like a half an hour ago here on the stream? You're late on that one. But much love. He who has the gold makes the rules. He who holds the gold is king. Do you see now? You wonder why every country's been buying it up? You wonder why every central bank has been buying it up? Record amounts? Here's Trump trying to state it to his base. They can't get it. They need spoon-fed everything to accept it. He who holds the gold makes the rules. This is what he posted, and this says thank you. The golden rule of negotiating and success. He who has the gold makes the rules. Okay. I want to know what's in them damn vaults, son. You think he makes a comment like this without knowing? You think he spent a night since the night that they said that all this stuff about Fort Knox? You think he's gone a night without knowing? They all know. They know if that gold's in Fort Knox or not. They sure do. They're not saying anything. That's my big concern. Because a couple things can happen with this. What would benefit the government more right now? That's how you got to look at it. What would benefit the beast more right now? Okay? Let's play it out. It's very simple. Let's play it out. They go there with cameras. They open it up. All the gold's there. They're walking around. So conspiracies start to fly for this and that. Somebody thought they saw a fake gold bar in the video. All this stuff's going to happen. But yet they're going to tell you all the gold's there. There it is. It showed you on video. It's all there, right? You can't prove otherwise. You can't prove otherwise. You can't do nothing. You just got to sit there and accept the video that they're showing you at this point. But the narrative is, from Doge and Trump, all the gold's there. It's all accounted for. It's all there. We're good, right? So, okay. It's really not. The story ends there, right? Like, it should have been there. Like, right? Okay. Cool. Like, there's nothing happens after that. All right, now, let's rewind. Let's go back. They open the vault doors. Nothing's there. Shockwaves get sent throughout the world. Instantly. Markets tank. The dollar gets crushed. Donald Trump declares another state of emergency. How many can you be in? Goes on national television, tells the whole world, basically. Via executive order, we have no choice. We have no choice but to ask the American people to give up their gold and silver to save the country. Replenish our vaults, of which all the gold that seems to have been stolen was done by men long ago. We look to hold anyone that we can accountable, but they look to all be dead and gone. So the story will end there with any of the criminal stuff, and they'll get away with this move. And they will enforce everybody give up your gold, or we're going into the Great Depression. Give up your gold, or we're going into the Great Depression. Do you see all the advantages that open up if the gold is missing? I don't like this. I don't like it at all, because it's advantageous for them to not have it in there. And you want to talk, if it's missing, the price of gold itself will go bananas. Bitcoin will go bananas. Every hedge against the dollar, those are the two biggest ones at the moment. They will go on a rocket ride to the moon. So what's it going to be? The gold's there, nothing goes down after that. Or everything I just said. That would be, if that is the case, if that does happen, it would be such a disturbing and earth-shattering move that it would have to be well-timed with, in their eyes, the heavens. As above, so below again. There would be a specific date, just like 9/11, picked for this whole thing to get the most out of it. You see? Do you really see? Do you understand you're dealing with witches and warlocks and wizards at the highest levels? Every single thing that they do is calculated. I find it hard to believe that they would pass on this whole gold thing. The comments, though, he who holds the gold makes the rules. So, I don't know, it's an ominous one to me from Trump. Just put it out there like that. And, this isn't new, but the central banks are breaking their neck to buy gold at record amounts, more and more and more. It's always the same thing all the time. If you look around the world and you see the richest and the most elite people in the world doing one thing, they are stacking gold. It ends with gold. It doesn't go into anything else, any other commodity. Yes, they stack them all, the silver, the copper, the platinum, the palladium, they do it all. But once you get to the gold bars, like that's the end game. That is what they want. Again, it all takes me back to the Anunnaki. The Anunnaki came here to create slaves to mine for gold. So in the end, it makes sense to me that all the sellouts of the world, our leadership that know the fallen are here, are bowing down to them, and all this gold is going to them. It's for them. Again, they told us as much. So when these things step out of the shadows, you'll remember, whether I'm here still or not, you'll remember the words Dabu 7 echoed about these The fallen. They're here. They always have been. Miss Dragon, member of the underground. 2 months now. Much love. Thank you. Yes, and I do. Going to try to open up here on the side. Email. Just so. Alright. And thank you for that PayPal. Appreciate it to the fullest. Let's jump into some of the politics here. We have a Democrat judge caught hiding Trende Iraqua in his home, adopting him, this gang member, taking him in, holding illegal aliens in his home. And it's like, okay, if these guys are making these moves, that's treason. A judge harboring Trende Iraqua illegals in his own home. Like, where's this going to go? How can you do this? I don't get it. Like, I suppose this is a county judge in New Mexico. And for all this, they arrested this individual. But this guy should be charged for all this. Not just resigning, he should be charged for housing these illegals. How many more are doing this? I mean, you're talking about murderers and rapists and the ones bringing in the fentanyl and all this stuff. It's illegal. They're illegal. Just end of story. Well, what's this one that we've got? Oh, this is crazy. This is crazy. And creepy, all right? I'm going to blow up this image. This is an image Joe Biden shared, and everyone's saying it's obviously doctored, photoshopped to hell and back, and as fake as they all are. But in this image, if you look at it closely, there is some dark, gray, creepy-looking hand on the shoulder of this guy behind Jill. It's not Biden's hand. It can't be. It can't be any of them's hand. And it's pretty creepy looking. But all in all, what this means, what I'm trying to say is, this thing's so stitched together from different pictures, like a collage, to try to make it look wholesome as good as they could. I mean, just look at Joe back there. Like, it didn't even look right. I mean, look at him. I mean, was he on his knees on the porch up there? Like, I don't get it. Like, he looks like he's... It looks fake. He doesn't even look... It doesn't even look real. I mean, it looks fake as it gets. And then you've got this hand on this guy's shoulder that shouldn't be there. Basically saying that it was cut and pasted from somewhere else. And that, like, maybe the person that was originally right here next to him that had their hand on the shoulder was removed. And then they had to get Biden in there somewhere. So they stitched him in right there. And it looks so freaking fake. It looks so fake. I mean... some of you could have done better out there, man, on the first try. Anyhow. Bill Maher talking to Charlie Kirk about what's really destroying the Democratic Party. And I thought that this was interesting because he admits a few things. Whenever they're willing to admit some of these things. I like to shed some light on it. But Charlie Kirk obviously trying to come off of the conservative side, Bill Maher from the liberal side. I'm just going to play this clip here so you guys can see the take.
We have different jihadis that want to kill me. The purple-haired jihadis, the woke guys.
Well, they kill me. They want to kill me just as bad.
Probably.
Oh, they really do.
No, you've been very outspoken on the woke stuff. Big time.
Oh, yes. I mean, and they, just the way within a religion, they hate their own apostates more. I would say they hate me more because I'm supposed to like get on the short bus to Crazy Town with them, and I won't. And yet I'm still a liberal and still like, you know, I mean, we probably could argue all day about Donald Trump and what he's doing, which I'm not down with. But, you know, it's always the people who are closest who think, oh, gosh, you shouldn't have, you're a traitor somehow.
I was going to ask, is it because they thought you were one of them and that...
I am one of them. They're not one of me. Okay. It's the liberals who have...
So they've left you, not you left them.
Yeah, well, I feel like there's... Liberal and woke are two completely different things. It was the theme of my last stand-up special that I just did a few months ago. And it's basically... I mean, it wasn't the whole special, of course, but it was a large part of it devoted to that, to proving that case that, you know, what liberals believe, woke is something completely different. It's very often the opposite of it. You know, liberalism is, let's live in a colorblind society. That's the goal. Woke's goal is, we see race everywhere.
Race obsession.
Yes. Okay. So that's not liberal. You changed. Liberal is, there are two-state solution. Woke is river to the sea. Okay. So just don't take my word and say you're that. You took this and took it to, you got off the F train, you fell asleep, and you got off at 20 stops too far, and don't blame me for that.
So they both seem to think, you know, there's individuals out there in this country that are at the point to where they want to kill. I have a problem with that because it's one thing to protest, it's one thing to go out and, you know, be pissed off and voice your opinion and all that stuff, but to be going out and just murdering people for the smallest little things is just crazy. It will turn this place into Crazy Town real quick. But his point, Bill's point there was, and I kind of agree with him, that they have hate against the left, should I say, some of these, the most recent crowd of the left that's out there doing this stuff. They have more hate for him because they look at him like a traitor. Now, I respect Bill coming up to the plate and just voicing his opinion. And I think they're interesting opinions often. He's not a concrete type of liberal, it's always seemed to me. It's like he's, I don't know, as he says, they've abandoned him, but he's not a conservative. I don't know. I feel at this point they're never going to love him for anything he's saying here. If you're not going toward Trump, if you're not representing that side of going against Trump, they don't want nothing to do with you. You're a traitor. That's just how I see it. So it's not going to be good for him from that viewpoint. But it's what it is. I thought it was interesting that they both brought up that there's people out there that want to kill them. And that was really what caught my attention with the whole thing. So, just... Oh, and by the way, the left was pushing this big idea or conspiracy, whatever you want to call it, that something big is going to happen. Yesterday. It was the whole blue anon thing that I told you about. That Trump was going to seize power because it was 90 days and all this stuff was going to be up and it was going to go into motion. Nothing happened. Like, they were saying all this crazy stuff. Like, people started getting arrested, and nothing happened. Like, nothing happened. So, I mean, I'm not shocked that nothing happened, but nothing happened. Big dud. We knew that that was going to be the case. I mean, there's always a possibility anything can happen, right? Anything can happen, and they could have claimed that that was it, blah, blah, blah. But they were trying to say that he was going to clamp down, some martial law type crap, but he's already done that. I don't know where you've been. Day one, he declared a national emergency, and it changes everything, and people just don't even realize it. It changes everything. It changes absolutely everything. The power that it gives him under that emergency is unprecedented, and people just sleep on it. Like, it's already happened. We used to warn about this back when Obama was putting the stuff on record. Like, you know, one day, all they got to do when they sign that NDAA is sign a national emergency. And when they do, they can take control of every blade of grass, of every drop of water in every freaking lake. They sure can. And they do. They can. Right now. People aren't freaking out about it because they're not doing it. But they can. We're under national emergency right now. He could do it right now. They could come in, they could take anything and everything right now. But because people don't realize that, Trump's base has awakened to that. It's not a problem, I guess. But, man. Anyhow, let's keep it pushing here. A massive explosion rocks Northrop Grumman and their site. I thought it was kind of interesting because they make some highly classified stuff. You're talking about potentially advanced technologies. And they're kind of hush-hush on this, on exactly what went down, besides saying that some of the main motors and engines and stuff that they were working on there did not get affected. Initial reports indicate that there are no injuries or fatalities. This is an ongoing investigation. Details may change. There is no further information available for release at this time. They advise the public to avoid the area. Yeah, they don't want journalists capturing images of potential technologies, I'm telling you, that are exposed. When you blow the walls and the roof off of a building and the UFO is still sitting there, or whatever you're building, or parts of it, like, you're exposed. You're done. Look, some of the stuff can be done underground. Most of it is, but some of it above ground for certain reasons and safety reasons. Same thing with Area 51 and their hangars. If you don't know, as I said on the other stream, I have Area 51 footage on my channel. And thank you to those that went looking last time and let me know that some said that they found it, some didn't. Some are saying that they looked and they couldn't find it again, which isn't shocking. But someone said that they did find it, which was refreshing. But yes, I went to Area 51 if you don't know. And I have footage, broad daylight footage, 2 different clips of 2 different objects outside of the hangar. One of which appeared on Spiro's feed. It's a long cigar shaped. It just materialized right there in front of us. Slowly, right there, just out of nowhere. On the tarmac. You had to be looking, or you would have missed it. It just, out of nowhere, just no blip of light, no nothing. Just slowly materialized to right there on the tarmac. It was crazy. And then on my footage, I caught something. It looked like gyroing, like 2 balls spinning around each other, and reflecting it. You can see the sunlight reflecting, and then they just disappear. Like it just vanish into thin air. Like you would think again, the stuff would have millions of views, but I'm so censored. Nope, this is sitting there. I've never seen anything like it. I've never seen anyone ever show any footage at Area 51 that's real of something connected to a UFO, like on the tarmac or anything like that. Yet, we got it. And it's real. It's real, and you know it. Anyone's been following me for years, you know it. The whole trip was real. People try to say it was fake, and some of you try to say anything, won't you? Like, without a doubt, that was the realest trip ever. It's a good video. If you guys get time, check it out. My trip to Area 51, Tikaboo Peak. Went with Cannons and Spiro. He rolled a four-wheeler off the top of the mountain. Like, oh, man. It was a wild one. Worth checking out if you got time. Anyhow, I think of all those things when I see this building blowing up, because Northrop Grumman is the type of company you find in Area 51. They're the type of contractors that are in there doing stuff like this. Man, gotta go back. West is calling me. China test a non-nuclear hydrogen bomb, and it generates an intense fireball. Yeah, man. They're not messing around. They're making big advancements. This is devastatingly huge. And to be non-nuclear, scary. This means that they can strategically drop this in certain places and wipe it out and not have to worry about the radiation and the blowback in their face. It's pretty crazy. And brand new satellite images expose China's secretive nuclear submarine force. So they've got it. Everyone thinks that they're lacking, or they don't have what we have, or this and that. They've made huge advancements, especially in the 4 years Biden was in office. But yeah, updated imagery showing that they've got at least 6 nuclear subs in there. So they've got these things, man, and when South China pops off and goes hot, they're going to be lurking. They've been lurking. They've caught these subs down on the Philippines, Australian coast, anywhere around that South China Sea. They act like they own the entire thing, which they don't, but they think they do. Israel is willing to ignore Trump and proceed with a limited attack on Iranian nuclear facilities. This ain't good. Yet it could happen any day at any time. They're on a rampage, and I'm telling you, we just saw that they let people go up and pray at the Temple Mount, at the Al-Aqsa Mosque, and I'm telling you, they're about to wipe it. They're ready to build this third temple, and dude, we're in a crazy time. We are in a crazy time. It's all about to happen. I believe it's all about to happen. Everything you've ever waited for is on Trump's watch. They've even said as much. They've admitted it. They've said as much. That this temple has to be built on his watch. He is the one chosen to hand over America to their Messiah. That Messiah is going to step into that temple. He can't do it until it's built. It can't be built until there's an area cleared for it. Which means something is about to happen. And I'm telling you, with Israel going everywhere, I mean, all their neighbors are just they spill into anywhere and everywhere, and they just dropping bombs everywhere. Now they're warning about Iran. So you know that Iran was the last big bad boogeyman in the game, per se. So once you knock off Iran, I mean, who's left? To what I can see globally, China. And China's talking about stepping up and backing Iran. And I believe they will. I believe they have nothing to lose and being allies and everything to gain. And Russia could do a rug pull on China. I think they realize this. I'm not sure what role Russia's going to play in all this, man, but they're coming down to pretty much getting close to decapitation strike on Zelensky in Ukraine. Putin confirms the end of an Easter truce. So they stopped for Easter. I actually watched some video footage. I believe it was from a drone. And it caught 2 Russian soldiers talking to 2 Ukrainian soldiers on the front line of the battlefield. Look like they exchanged something. And one can only wonder what was said, the conversation that went on between them. Like, oh yeah, gotta go back over here and start shooting at you here in a minute, but man, good talking to you. Yeah, like what? Like, I mean, they had it looked like a decently warm, non-hostile conversation. The body language. And they had to turn around and go back to killing each other? Like, this whole thing is crazy. The large-scale fighting resumes. So that, I see a big something happening here. Like, Kiev is going to get struck hard, and, they're going to make a move. They could take all of Ukraine at this point. What is Trump and them going to do if these guys aren't serious about this stuff? Thank you, someone, for the coffee. It's appreciated to the fullest. All the support is. This comes down to Zelensky, where I see this. Either he comes to the table legitimately. You really can't blame Russia at this point. I mean, they're going to keep steamrolling. They're not going to call a timeout, which they said before. You're lucky you got the holiday truce. That was just lucky, because they denied any kind of break or truce or timeout before. It didn't benefit nobody but Ukraine at that point. They're not trying to do that. And this guy is an actor. You know that. Zelensky is an actor, right? You know Trump is an actor, too, right? I'm serious. Trumpers can't even deny it. He's an actor. He's in movies and everything else. You are dealing with actors on this world stage. I tell you all the time, politics is the big dogs. It's beyond Hollywood. It's where guys go after they graduate Hollywood and they can still be used on the masses. Like Schwarzenegger. Like Trump. You see? It is the pinnacle of acting. It's where they need you the most. They need you to buffalo the people in real time. In real life acting. And that is what Trump is so masterful at doing. Now, here's a huge one. Klaus Schwab stepping down from the World Economic Forum's board amid globalist retreat. On the same day, you get Francis checking out and Schwab stepping down. I mean, that's a big one. Matt, thank you for the coffee. Appreciate it to the fullest. So, Klaus Schwab was part of the whole, mastermind behind decades of stuff. Colleen, thank you for the coffees as well. I appreciate it, guys, more than you know. He was, when I look at the World Economic Forum, when I look at these pictures that go back, they go back before I was even born. That's how long some of these goons have been on the scene. You know how many crimes against humanity these guys should have hung on them? And they're just going to walk off, right off into the sunset, right? It's ridiculous, man. So, let me also pull up this synchronicity. It's one thing to have the timing of Klaus coming out and making this announcement. But he does it, again, as Francis dies. Right? What's Francis die at? 88. What age does Schwab step down at? 88. I can't help but think and to see that you got a war criminal right now slipping into the shadows and then riding off to the sunset right now. Is some younger, fresher face can take the role of this whole thing. But these are criminals, man, just like Gates, just like Fauci, all the rest of them. But there's a big problem. Trump literally had Gates right in front of him and could have had him arrested, put in jail, all this stuff, tried for all these things. But he didn't. He had dinner with him. He discussed future technologies in terms of the jab and how to profit from them, which is scary. So instead of arresting the man, the mastermind connected into fear-mongering us all, and it was there all the time throughout all the lockdowns and all this stuff, he had dinner with him. Matt, thank you again for the coffee. I appreciate it, man. Well, they're all symbolic. It's all about that. With the 8s and the 3s and all that. So, I don't know, man. I got a song that I made that hasn't been released yet, and it's got one verse still open on it, man. I think, yeah, and Hoodie Ross, look, you're the one. You got to do that verse. It's your song anyway. I got a challenge for you. Yeah, I did my verse for that. And while he was locked up, and I was spitting on the World Economic Forum. And I heard it earlier and I forgot about it. So I got an unreleased, unfinished song that was targeting. I had this full in mind when I wrote it, because of all the corruption that happens at the World Economic Forum. I'm gonna floor them, put it on them. Well, Schwab's gone. I will definitely be zeroing into this next individual, former Norwegian Foreign Minister Borge Brende, taking over daily operations. And they have World Economic Forum Vice Chairman Peter Brayback Letmath appointed the board chairman in the intern search for a replacement. So they have an intern, but they don't have a full-time replacement yet. Amy, thank you. I appreciate that. God bless you. Appreciate the super chat. Now, switch it up here. We've got some interesting information being slipped out there. I mean, you would have always called this a conspiracy over the years, and they surely would not have let this out in the 2000s, like early 2000s, anything like that. No way. But now it's come to light that there was a cover-up in terms of a Oklahoma City bombing. And that's pretty big, because we always knew that this was a fraudulent manufactured event. And just like all the other ones, we're coming to find out now that the Attorney General at the time, and you may remember this face and this goon, John Ashcroft, he was the Attorney General under George W. Bush. He was basically given a tip-off that the building was going to be bombed, and that they were called, and that they were given this information a half an hour before the event took place. This whole story goes on to implicate a bunch of individuals here. It's rather interesting if you ask me. What they're actually doing, though, is telling the whole world that they had insider foreknowledge of this event, Oklahoma City, that happened that long ago. And I'm guessing they think at this point that people just are not going to care because they have to tell you the truth on things. It's how this game works. It's how the magic in all this goes down. At some point, things have to be revealed. This one just feels like a no one's paying attention moment. Like the moon's void of course. When they drop this. Like people just not paying attention and don't care. No one's saying a word about it. They're off to the next headline. It's boring to them or something. It's like that. But no, this is a huge admission. They knew. Now, why would he ignore all the, come on. It opens up the can of worms that we always knew was there. That federal agencies and more knew about this, had hands involved, and the whole thing reeks of it, of a staged event. And so, he knew information, and he stopped the media from reporting on certain stuff. So not only did he know, they went out of their way to basically cover things up. It's bad. It exposes them in the whole event and everything that went down then, because they've used that event and will continue to probably use it as an event to say it was domestic terrorism and all that. So, yeah, they just celebrated 30-year anniversary, and thank you, Deanne, for everything. Here's one. We've got 2 Mexican nationals busted in Colorado with 180,000 rounds of ammunition. You think they're ready to go to war? What are you doing with that much ammunition? Seriously. What are you doing with 180,000 rounds of ammunition? We know these guys are in here affiliated with gangs and all this other stuff. Murderers, rapists. I mean, that's a stockpile. That's a stockpile. It just makes you wonder, like, were they preparing for some kind of an event? Something upcoming, something about to happen? I don't know. At this point, I guess anything can happen any day. Play this clip here real quick.
2 Mexican citizens are facing federal charges after they were allegedly traveling in a car carrying 180,000 rounds of ammunition in southern Colorado. According to the criminal complaint, Martinez Solis and Ivan Amador Gaviria were arrested after a Fremont County deputy pulled them over in Canyon City for not dimming their headlights as they drove by. During that stop, officers found 180 boxes of ammunition, each of which contained 1,000 rounds. There were approximately 150 boxes of .308 ammunition, a common hunting round, and about 30 boxes of .762 ammo, which is commonly used in AK-47s. Both Solis and Gaviria are now being charged with unlawful possession of ammunition by an alien admitted under non-immigrant U.S. visa.
Oh, so that is indeed a lot of ammunition there. And there's a plan being talked about out here in regards to what's going on with the border. I'm gonna speak on the border thing here real quick, and then I'm gonna give an update on the Under project for those that were emailing and asking questions, and then we'll shut it down. I'll get some final thoughts and take us out of here. But this border plan, it's a real idea that's being pushed out there that it may, if implemented the right way, be effective. But I really don't see how this can happen without the Mexican government stepping up and doing something huge themselves, right? And what they're doing is they're talking about defunding the cartels instead of just doing what they're about to do, which is to start bombing the piss out of them. And when it starts, they're not going to stop. It hasn't begun yet. They haven't started striking from drones into Mexico. I mean, once this begins, it's over. People ignored this stuff. Well, they ignore it every day. You ignore it in Israel. You ignore it in Lebanon. You ignore it in Yemen, in Ukraine. You ignore it everywhere. But it's about to start happening right here, right at our border. They're going to be blowing people up bigger than crap. Drunken Dow, thank you for the coffees. Hey, man, I thank you. Much love. God bless. I see a huge war about to begin. How can you not? It's all there. He went under a state of emergency day one because of it. That's how big it is. That's how huge of an event this is. The people are so dumbed down at this point, they don't even know what hit them. About to get smacked by the Mack truck, and then the garbage truck, then the milk truck, and then whatever truck else after that, because people just are about to get blindsided. A war on our border has never been seen before. Now, to defund it is a good idea. But how do you go about doing it? It essentially has to happen within Mexico. And from what I can tell, the Mexican government is weak. And they cannot counter these cartels. They can't control them. They can't, they're almost at the mercy of them. They have to have this deal with them to coexist. Which, I'm going to say, factions of some of these cartels that are over there are not all bad. As crazy as that sounds, this is what I'm told from the Mexican people that I know that have family down there and they have connections. There are areas and groups that are labeled cartel, but they're just that way because they have to defend their area. They're not going to let others come in and take it over, so they have to take up arms. They have to fight back or get killed or get taken over. So I can understand that. But the larger cartels, Sinaloa and the others that are running rampant, they've caught the attention and the ire of the government. They've been labeled terrorist so they can use the military on them. That doesn't bode well for anyone. Think of all the innocent people. Now just think about this. Look at what they're doing everywhere else. You just imagine when they start striking areas in Mexico, going after militants, mercenaries, domestic terrorists, whatever you want to call them. And they're striking them, and innocent people are getting killed left and right. Women and children, because they don't care. Or is anybody going to say anything about it? If they do, it's almost hypocrisy. I mean, we'll be glad that they finally stepped up and said something, but I guess their lives are more important than all the other people that's been blown up. Like, I don't get it. Like, war's war. But people are not going to be able to turn a cheek to this. I highly suspect a huge event is going to happen here. Now hear me out. I feel a false, I'm not even going to say the word. You don't know, FF event. It's going to pop, if not multiple, in tandem. And it's going to be designed to look like a series of terror attacks or targeted attacks against certain areas. Similar to what the cyber truck thing was at Trump Tower at the very beginning of the year. It was like symbolic. But this next wave is going to be big and it's going to be real in terms of large-scale damage. Because it has to be. Why would they do this? To justify attacking them. You see, our government is sitting there just waiting for a valid reason. They don't want to look like the bad guys. So they want to be able to paint the picture in everyone's mind that they're justified in bombing the piss out of all these people from here on out. And to do that, you need a reason. A good reason is a staged event. Without the event, you don't get all the rest. So, yeah, much love, all you on that 1111. Delayed there. I don't know how far behind also the chat is from my audio, so. Much love, all you guys. Everyone tuning in tonight. Everyone that shares the stream. Appreciated more than you know. Dabu7 at yahoo.com if you got any questions about anything. If you've got any stories you want to get to me. Anything related to anything we've talked about tonight. I'd love to share it and get it out there. If you got any amazing images. Beautiful images. I'll start the stream with them. Video clips of anything, man. Hit me up, Dabu7 at yahoo.com. And I can't stress enough also, follow me on X because so much stuff is tweeted like at any second. Like, any moment I could tweet something out. You're not going to see it coming off of YouTube or other places. It's just, it's like a live news feed, pretty much, to stay up to date with things. Follow me on X. I'm heavily censored over there too, but it was crazy. And hold on, let me catch this. Thank you for that super chat. I had Tacos, Sonny, Tooch. I was talking with in my presence. It was good to see them in the flesh. Good to see Rice. And we were discussing this. And I had kicked out a tweet. And I said, I said something about the tweet that I just kicked out. And everyone's just kind of looking around like I didn't know what I was talking about. So I'm sitting here like, oh my gosh, don't tell me that like I don't see it. It's like, after talking, the guy's in the same freaking room with. Did not see my post. It's that's shocking to me, but much love, Minx. Everybody out there, much love to all you guys. Trying to look here real quick. Oh yeah, several of you asking about the Underground project. And a much love to everybody out there that's partaking in it. This was made for you. Underground project for the Underground, and I gotta say, a project is only as strong as its community. So I want to thank all of you out there that share images and stuff on social media, on it, links. We've been doing as much as we can to promote it and get it out there. And we're going to continue to. And we've got some big things coming. Without letting the cat out of the bag. But I had people asking questions. I know I'd mentioned something about staking. We're looking into staking right now. I'll update with an announcement on that as I get all that hashed out. There's different ways, different places to go through. And still, we want to make sure it's done the right way. So, kind of taking our time there, making sure that what we do with the staking is correct. And I have people just simply asking me how they get into the project. It seems most people out there familiar with Coinbase and at least have a Coinbase and can get there. All I know to do is to show you a quick walkthrough for those that ask, and it's really simple. And this is with any place, any DEX that you go to, which is like an exchange. What you would do, and you can see on the screen, I'm over on Pump where we created and kicked out the Undercoin. And just because it's on Pump doesn't mean it's a pump and dump coin. No, it's a very real coin. We take this very seriously. I haven't sold once. I haven't sold a single thing because I believe in this. I want this to go far. If a whale comes along and pumps this thing at 2 million, y'all sell, man. Like, I did this for you. Like, and this is all tax-free too under the Trump stuff because we're an American-made project. So, with all that said, what you need to do first and foremost for anyone that wants to get into this is create a wallet, okay? And you can create one from many different places. Take your pick. Soulflare, Phantom is a big one, right? It's a key one that a lot of people use. Phantom wallet, it's got little ghost on the emblem. Look it up, download to get it. It's very easy. Start there. When you got your Phantom wallet, okay, what you want to do is take and transfer whatever you got. I would say Solana. If you're new to crypto or anything like that, Solana is what you're going to want to get and transfer. Not Bitcoin, not Ethereum. That's like outdated at this point. The newest platform and the hottest thing is Solana, and it's used on all these dexes. And it's used for all these applications, and it's making it a hot coin to be in. But if Solana goes up, so will the projects, okay? Because they're all tied to that platform. Similar to if Bitcoin rises, any project off that would rise, and so on and so forth. But up in the top right-hand corner, you'll see a login. And what you do is you just hit it. And when you hit it, you're going to see it pop up on the screen, connect to wallet. And then click on your wallet, on the Phantom wallet. And it will then sign you in, and you will be in. And once you do that, you just go to buy, however much you want to buy, hit place the trade, it will execute it, and you will be holding under. And yeah, you can see right there where we were crowned King of the Hill in 328 off this, and it's pretty much a blessing because not every coin that's ever created even hits the bonding curve. It doesn't even survive the bonding curve and become an official real thing, but ours is. It has. It hit $250,000 market cap first day. Somebody pumped it to it. And it's just the nature of the game. That's how it happens. So for everyone that's getting in on these dips, much love and shout outs to you. I want to thank everyone that promotes this. Again, I made it for y'all. You see this? You see this initial huge spike? I could have sold me $25,000 on that, but I didn't. Why? Because that's not what this is for. That's not what I made this for. Right? I ain't sold a single one up to this point because I would have just gave haters an excuse to say, oh, he just dumped on his people right at the gate. And I said, no, I didn't. I passed on 25K to prove to you a point that I made this so you could get in on the bottom. All right? We started this at 4K market cap. You understand? Where are we at tonight? 26. Divide that by 4. That's how many X this thing's already moved if you would have just got it in the beginning. And I gave the example last week. Hoodie Ross got into the game. My boy, Scotty hooked him up, $20. He made a come up, made enough to pay Scotty back and still have a come up in the game. And it's a beautiful thing to see that they can do that all because of something I created that can grow. And haters can hate all they want. This is the furthest thing you're going to find from a scam anywhere out there. We ain't just dumping on anyone or doing anything like that. We're promoting it honestly. We got everybody in from the floor. There was no pre-sale to this where people got in pre or any of that crap. No. As honest as you can kick it. And here it is. And again, big things coming up. So, yeah, that's the under. There's links below in the description. Much love to all that support the underground. Dave says, what is a bonding curve? Bonding curve is a point that a coin gets to when their market cap hits like 40, 50,000. It's different for every site. Once you get to that bonding curve, you basically prove that you're not just a pump and dump. You're not just a a pump and dump, basically, and just you're to be taken serious. So then you graduate to being an official coin, and then you're listed on multiple exchanges and different dexes and all that, like we've been fortunate enough to do at this point. But yeah, man, there's a lot to it in terms of education. If you've got questions, again, dabu7@yahoo.com. I'll try my best to answer them. I look to be back on Wednesday, going live Monday, Wednesday, Friday, right here for Underground World News Live, covering anything and everything that's going down. There's plenty of it. So, as I always say, if the Lord doesn't return in the coming days, I'll see you here next time for Underground World News Live. Much love, God bless. Illuminati. Blows like a 12-gauge shotty. Much love, Silent Walk. Minx. Hoodie Ross. Back Ashwards. Deanne. Pixie. Quantum. All the mods. Walk with God. Paula. KY Yankee, E-Young, E-Ink, E-Phase, Geo, William, Wolf, Sevenfold, baby. Thank you and much love, Eon. God bless. This is the underground, baby.